Have you ever wondered, why do some men seem to attract women effortlessly? They're not always the richest, the most handsome, or even the most talkative. So, what's their secret? In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to share 6 traits that make a man absolutely irresistible. These aren't quick tricks or temporary tactics. These are qualities you can learn, practice, and apply to become the best version of yourself. This content isn't for those looking for short-term hacks. If you want to shift your mindset, change how others perceive you, and most importantly, change how you see yourself, then stick around until the end. You won't want to miss a single second. The first trait, emotional control. Do you know why women often test men? It's their way of checking if you can stay calm under pressure. Women are drawn to men who can manage their emotions because it signals inner strength. In psychology, this is a sign of maturity and reliability. When you don't let negative emotions like anger or insecurity take over, you create a safe space that makes others want to be around you. Imagine you're arguing with your girlfriend, getting rejected in front of friends, or facing pressure from your boss. A man who can't control his emotions might lash out or shrink back, but a man who can, he keeps a steady voice, a confident gaze, and handles the situation logically. I once saw a guy get publicly insulted by a stranger in a coffee shop. Instead of getting angry or embarrassed, he just smiled, said something brief, and continued his conversation. The result? Everyone in the shop, including the women, looked at him with admiration. That's the power of emotional control. Ask yourself, in stressful situations, do you react impulsively or stay in control? Start practicing by taking a deep breath and counting to 5 before responding in an argument. You'll be amazed at the difference. The second trait, living with purpose. A man with clear goals doesn't just attract women, he inspires everyone around him. Biologically, dopamine, the motivation hormone, is triggered when you pursue goals. Women sense this energy. In contrast, a man who's drifting without direction often comes across as lifeless. Think about a guy who always says, "I don't know what I want," versus one who says, "I'm building a business," or "I'm training for a marathon next year." Who feels more magnetic? As Jordan Peterson once said, "Pick a burden worth carrying and carry it willingly." Goals don't just shape your life, they make you attractive. Take 5 minutes tonight to write down your 5-year goals. They don't need to be perfect, but they should be specific. For example, I want to get promoted to manager, or I want to learn a new skill. When you have a purpose, your energy shifts. Try it. The third trait, boundaries and standards. A man who can say no without guilt is a man with true charisma. Setting boundaries shows you respect yourself and have principles. Women aren't drawn to men who agree to everything just to please them. That signals a lack of self-respect. I knew a guy who did everything his girlfriend asked, gave up his hobbies, stopped seeing friends, even changed how he dressed. The result? She lost respect and left. He learned the hard way. Without boundaries, you lose your allure. Define your non-negotiables, values you'll never compromise. For example, I won't tolerate disrespect, or I make time for family every week. These principles shape who you are. Ask yourself, what are you tolerating in your life that you should say no to? Write down one thing you'll refuse starting today and follow through. The fourth trait, quiet confidence. This isn't about bragging or arrogance. It's confidence that radiates from within. Quiet confidence shows through body language, standing tall, making eye contact, speaking calmly. Arrogance, on the other hand, comes with showiness and a need for validation. I once met a guy who dressed simply and spoke little, but when he did, the whole room listened. That's the power of quiet confidence. One way to build confidence is to track micro wins every day. Small victories like finishing a task on time, hitting the gym, or helping someone. These add up and create lasting confidence. Today, write down 3 things you did well, no matter how small. Do this every day for a week, and you'll notice a shift in how you feel about yourself. The 5th trait, authenticity. Women can sense when you're being fake. It's about energy, not just words. A man who's true to himself doesn't need to act. He doesn't try to seem cool or hide his flaws. I've met 2 men. One bragged about his success, but everyone could tell he was masking insecurity. The other admitted he wasn't perfect, but lived by his values. Who was more attractive? The authentic one. Start a daily journal to write down your true thoughts. Practice speaking the truth, even when it's tough, like admitting you disagree instead of nodding along. Think about 3 things you hide because you fear judgment. Write them down and commit to being real about one of them starting today. The final and most powerful trait, mysterious masculinity. A man who holds back a bit of mystery keeps women curious. A lack of information sparks the imagination. When you don't reveal everything about yourself, you create an emotional pull-push, attraction, and distance. That's why men who overshare often lose their charm. I knew a guy who only shared about 30% of his story. He said just enough to pique curiosity, but never spilled it all. The result? People, especially women, always wanted to know more about him. Use this principle. Leave space, not silence. In conversations, share part of your story, then pause to let others wonder. For example, instead of detailing a trip, say, "It was an experience that changed how I see life," and let them ask more. Try this in your next conversation. Say less than you want and watch how people get drawn to you. Let's recap the 6 traits that make a man irresistible. Emotional control, staying calm under pressure. Living with purpose, having a clear direction in life. Boundaries and standards, saying no and respecting yourself. Quiet confidence, radiating confidence without boasting. Authenticity, being true to who you are. Mysterious masculinity, creating attraction by holding back a little mystery. You don't need to overhaul your entire self. Just pick one trait and start working on it today. A small step can lead to big changes. Attraction isn't about techniques. It's the result of becoming the best version of yourself. When you live by your values and improve daily, charisma comes naturally. Which of these 6 traits are you working on, or which one do you want to start with? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your story. If you found this video spot on, hit the like button. If you want to become a better version of yourself, subscribe and turn on notifications. In the next video, we'll dive into why women are drawn to dangerous men. You'll be surprised by what we uncover. Don't miss it. End screen with logo or channel name. This script is translated seamlessly, preserving the psychological insights, stories, practical exercises, and calls to action as requested. Let me know if you need adjustments or additional details.